and welcome back to the Hangar with Xcraft. In our previous segment, we got decals installed on our Devastator, and since then I've got clear coating done over top of those decals, and things are looking pretty good. The roundels sucked down really good, and I wanted to point out where we had decal issues the first time around, and those issues I believe stemmed with those corrugations in the wings because it was hard to get them to lay down flat. Well, that first time around, I used the Mr. Marks softer and the setter. And when I had to peel those roundels and redo them, I use the micro scale products. So we got micro set, which is number one. This is what you put your decals on with. And then micro sol, this is number two. And this is the one that softens them all up and gets them to suck down nice and tight. So I used these products this time, and everything seemed to go really well. Different decals will react differently with different setters and solvents, I found. So I don't think that's uncommon knowledge, and I'm not 100% certain if that's where our problem stemmed with, or was it me not getting the decals down and the corrugations good enough? I'm really not sure there. However, these products work really well as the Mr. Mark stuff. And it seems to have worked well on our second round of the roundels. So I'm really glad to say that that issue is cleared up and taken care of. So we're going to work on a little bit of weathering here. And I went ahead and I did the top of one wing because I wanted to play around with it a little bit and see exactly what I was going to do, because these aircraft are pretty clean. They're carrier based. They don't see a lot of dirt, and they're pre-war. So in any of the pictures I found, these aircraft are pretty clean. However, I still like to give it a little bit of weathering because it draws out details, panel lines, the corrugations will show out a little bit more. It brings it to life. It makes them pop a little bit, even though it might be a tad bit on the unrealistic side as far as weathering goes. It's my personal preference to do that, to give it some character. So this is what we've got, and I'm gonna switch to an overhead shot here, and I'm gonna do the other wing and show you how I did this here. And I don't know how well this is going to show up. We'll get pictures, and you can see it better probably from the video from above. But you can see, like, so this access panel here and up here, those are really showing well, where on the other wing you can't hardly see them at all. So here's a really good shot right here where you can't see this one, but you can see this one. Same thing up here. Can't see this one. You can see that one. Cannot see this one. So I used some. In this particular case, it's a Vallejo. This is carbon. It's just a powder. And this stuff works fine. I've mentioned this in previous videos before. It works good. You don't have to buy this. This was given to me by a friend, and I use it. I like it. It's great. But I could do the exact same thing also if I take a little bit of time, get some charcoal pencils from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever, and just use the edge of my X-Acto knife and just shave it, and end up with a real nice black carbon powder that will do the exact same thing this does, and probably a whole lot cheaper. You just got a little bit of effort into it to make it work. So I'm going to switch to an overhead shot here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that wing to get the effect that I wanted. And mind you, the way I'm doing this allows anybody to weather theirs to a point to their taste, from zero weathering to super over weathered if that's the way you like it, or over dirty, I should say, not necessarily weathered, but I'm just trying to dirty it a little bit because it brings out some accents. So let me get switched over for that, and let's get some things going. Okay, so here we're set up to do our charcoal weathering. Again, I have my Vallejo charcoal. This particular one is 73.116. Vallejo pigments. Okay, and I have this fatty brush. This is really nice for doing this kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna dunk this in here, and you can see it gets loaded up pretty good. So I'm gonna smack it off. Oh, look, I spilled some on the airplane. Guess what? Fixed. We're gonna take care of that here. So now watch. Actually, hang on. So look, it just streaks. That streaks off. But I want to get rid of a little bit more of it. So I have this very damp, just damp paper towel. Daub it off on something, and then I can take that and just streak that away. Right down to the way I like it. Okay, so on the other side, this is the way we're going to handle this. I'm going to take my charcoal, and we're just going to do this. Yeah, you're going to feel like you're ruining it. It looks awful. Okay, just remember, when you're doing this, don't panic. You put it on there, don't panic. Because guess what? If you don't like it, you wash it away. And you start over. But let's say I don't like this. I don't even have to wash it away. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this the way you want it to look without, like, you know, washing it away and redoing it. Matter of fact, I'm going to put way more on here than I did on the other wing, and I'm going to show you how we're going to weather that right down and make it look just like the other wing. So I've got a lot on here in comparison to what I did on the other side. Whew, that is a dirty, dirty airplane. Like, they just dug this out of a pit. It's so dirty. Look at that. We do this after we clear coat over the decals, because this will not it will not adhere, if you will, to the decal, to the plain decal. So you need to clear coat over the decals first in order for your charcoal to affect the decal at all and weather them down a little bit as well. Now, it's not drastic on the other wing, you can see, but it's dulled. It looks way more natural, in my opinion. So we can start just by, we'll just blow off the excess. Okay, now we're going to take just a plain paper towel. This is the one I was using on the other wing. And I got a little bowl of water here. I'm going to fold that up into a little pad. Like that. Just going to get it damp. And so we're going to just wipe. You can see how much of that it took off in one pass. And wipe, and wipe, and wipe, and wipe, etc., 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 etc. So now you can see at some point here we're just smearing around black because it's all over our paper towels. So you gotta refold it. Okay, kind of a no-brainer, but you gotta refold it so you can get to a clean spot and then do it again. I like when the decals have some dirtiness to them, rather than having a weathered, dirty aircraft, or less the new aircraft. Let's not call it dirty. And the decals look brand new. That to me looks very out of place. Now you could argue that, yeah, well, you know, out there in the field they had dirty old aircraft and maybe the roundels needed to be repainted, so they did that, and then they're nice and clean and brand new. Sure, you could absolutely make that argument. You could probably make just about any argument you want for whatever you were to decide to try to model, and no one's going to argue with you unless there's photo evidence to prove otherwise. And if you have photo evidence to back up whatever you're building, even better. But if not, you could sell it. So I just keep wiping this until I get the effect that I want. If I still think something is a little too dirty, we're just going to go back over it with water, and you can just keep taking it off. Now notice on this roundel, these corrugations are starting to pop a little bit because we're getting some of that charcoal is starting to discolor those corrugations a little bit, and the same thing happened on this side. So it brings out the character. It gives it character. It brings it life. To just build a model and stick it on a shelf without giving it life, in my opinion, is like blasphemy. I couldn't do it. They have to have some kind of personality to them. And I look at some of the older models that I built where I haven't done this, and they look fine, but they just look like a plastic model that came out of a box. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go back to build for you, though. If you like brand new, like showroom floor, showroom finish models, then by all means do it. Build for yourself and nobody else. So now I have both of those wings looking really even, and I think those came out really nice. So now that you see how I did that, I'm going to switch over to time lapse here, and I'm going to go over the rest of the entire airplane, even the aluminum. This probably won't show well on the aluminum at all. It might not even look like I've done much there. However, I'm going to go over the whole thing so it's consistent. So let's switch over to a time lapse and we'll get that done.
Okay, so a closer up shot of the wing, and you can see what that charcoal dust has done to the wing surface and brought out some of that detail. Here's a shot of the side of the fuselage fan. Now this picture, the surface looks really rough, but in fact it is not. It's smooth. It's just the way the picture turned out. And here's a shot overall. You can see and pulled back. I have gone over the aluminum, and it did have an effect on it. It did dull it down. I think the aluminum looks really good, and I'm really happy with my decision to do what I did with it. So, if you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and click that notifications button. Tell your friends, and don't forget, keep your fingers out of the glue.